So today I want to discuss why I believe the entire grading and examinations system of global academia is in total disrepair and in need of immediate fixing. So let's start with a discussion of how many of us blindly accepted the societal norm of pursuing good grades and high test scores to gain entrance at top tier schools, to secure a good job at a prestigious corporation without ever questioning once if this process would even make us happy and provide a meaningful life to us. Because I know when I was younger, I just accepted that. Many of us engage in this process simply because it is what everyone else is doing and what we are expected to do. Again, how many of us have accepted our religion as the best one for us, other than no other reason than our parents told us that this was to be our religion, rather than to study all religions before making any decision? How many of us have passed judgment on another culture, race, or community without spending lots of time talking with not one, but with many different members of that culture, race, or community? I don't know about you, but I met many people that called the very type of gang members I mentored as a young adult in Los Angeles, quote unquote, animals that should be locked away in jail forever, end quote. Even though they all admitted they had never once, not once, set foot in a poor community ridden with crime and had never spent a single minute speaking with any of the kids that I mentored that they wanted to see locked up forever. Yet they discounted my years of empirical experiences and gave credibility to their non-existent empirical experiences. So this is, again, these types of conclusions drawn from feelings and speculation with no evidence, no facts, are the kind that can only be encouraged by the complete lack of critical thinking skill development that exists in almost all academic classrooms in the world today. So this is not an indictment against our individual intellect, rather it's an indictment against the institutional academic system that kills our abundant levels of creativity, individualism, curiosity, and critical thinking skills with each year we are processed through the academic system. So I believe that those characteristics I just named, which would keep us all smart, are replaced with a collective obedient hive-like mentality. They want to produce cookie-cutter students. I don't care if you went to Harvard. I've met a lot of Harvard graduates that I would consider to be cookie-cutter students that think in a hive-like mentality. So for all of us that attended a brick-and-mortar school and university for the duration of our academic life, I don't really blame any of us for our current uneducated state today. It's really the system, the fault of the system that processed us. So again, let me say, I really believe that real learning must embrace the 9 pillars that I told you about in the first video of the series. And unfortunately, those 9 pillars are largely absent in all universities around the world. And I stressed that I believe children as young as 10 or 12 are capable of completing the courses in my academy with parental guidance, because I believe as a martial artist as well, iron sharpens iron. That's why when we sparred, we were taught to spar fiercely as if we were being attacked in real life. And that obviously led to some deep bruises, to broken bones, but that's the only real way to learn. Iron sharpens iron. So the earlier young child's mind is sharpened by being tested against iron, the faster he or she will make strides in building critical thinking skills that will serve him or her later in life. I'm sure you've heard claims that we are amongst the softest generation in the world, that you can't even disagree with a millennial. And I know not all millennials are like that, so I shouldn't say that because I hate making generalizations. But with some millennials, you can't even disagree with some. Of course, there are also some vegans you cannot disagree with without them getting butthurt and screaming and getting in your face and yelling about how wrong you are. So this is how soft of a society we are. So I believe one of the other reasons I invented my academy is because I said, hey, we need to go back to the narrative of iron sharpening iron, and we need to sharpen that iron, sharpen that mind from a really young age to prevent the dumbing down of society that I'm witnessing all over the world today. Okay, so one other thing that I wanted to cover before I end this mini video is that I think most of us would agree that we want schooling to enhance our lives and to make our lives better as we transition from children to teenagers, from teenagers to adulthood, and from adulthood into a career-oriented adult and parent. So I firmly believe that traditional brick and mortar classrooms all around the world emphasize the wrong ideology to make this happen. So no matter in what nation a young adult attends school, he or she is likely to hear the same three-pronged narrative. One, study hard to get good grades. 2, get the best grades to attend the best university. 3, attend the best university to get the best paying job. And over and over again, throughout our academic careers, we're conditioned to believe that the above path is the path to success. So glaringly absent from all of our academic lives, if we go through the institutional academic system, are any lessons about leaving a legacy, demonstrating compassion throughout one's life to improving our communities as a realistic and viable goal, or finding purpose in our lives as an integral part of the equation of life success. So I desire to completely change the way every SK Wealth Academy member defines success by ensuring that these elements are every bit as important to our definition of success as simple monetary and material wealth. So as a former private banker, former private wealth manager that interacted with some of the wealthiest individuals in the entire world on a regular basis for many years, I noted that many of the wealthiest people often struck me as being very lonely and very unhappy. And it took me some time to figure this out, although it should have hit me right away. I should have had an epiphany from the minute I was able to pick up on these characteristics amongst the very wealthy in society. But and that has actually been proven out with the soaring rates of wealthy individuals in developed nations that are dependent upon anti-anxiety and antidepressant medications. But because I had been processed through the institutional academic system along with most of my peers for 18 academic years of my life, that I had always learned the pinnacle of success was a career in which one earned millions of dollars. So it prevented me from seeing that, no, that is not the definition of success. That's the wrong definition of success. So I wanted to also change that in SK Wealth Academy, and that also was a motivating factor behind my devotion of 10 years of my life to bring SK Wealth Academy to you. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Have a blessed day or night, depending upon where you live, and always remember, remain intensely curious.